13 recommended plants with daisy-like flowers. The Gerbera daisy, also known as Transvaal daisy, is a clump-forming warm-weather tender perennial species native to South America, Africa, and Asia, generally grown as an annual. Plants typically grow 12 to 15 inches tall, with distinctive round flowers about 4 inches in diameter. It grows best in climates with warm days and cool nights. Deadheading spent flowers will prompt continuous reblooming. Chamomile is the common name used for several species, but German chamomile, Matricaria recutita, is the one with tiny white daisy-like blooms on spindly stems. This short-lived perennial plant is also used as an ingredient in calming herbal teas. Sow seeds in the fall for blooms coming up in the spring. Chamomile is an easy plant to grow in full sun with little to no maintenance, so much so that it can become an invasive weed. Plants grow 1 to 2 feet tall, and freely self-seed in the garden unless the flowers are deadheaded after blooming. Striking purple daisy-like flowers with yellow centers cover the Delosperma, otherwise known as ice plant. Its gorgeous array does come at a price, though, you have to tend it carefully. The right combination of drainage and moisture will yield breathtaking results. This is a low-growing succulent, 3 to 6 inches high, that is perfect where you want a blanket dry ground with daisy-like flowers that bloom all summer. It is quite sensitive to cold and may die out north of Zone 7 unless protected. The Chrysanthemum genus once included the familiar florist's mums, which have since been reassigned to the Dendranthema genus. The remaining garden mums are generally cultivars of the C. morifolium species or hybrid crosses. These hardy perennial mums, along with asters, provide good late-season color for the garden, blooming from September through frost. These are clump-forming plants that generally grow 2 to 3 feet tall, and various cultivars offer many colors. Unlike many daisy-like flowers that tolerate dry conditions, mums need plenty of moisture to go with lots of sun. Mulching the plants will help retain soil moisture. These are short-lived perennials that are often planted as annuals. Plant in spring for good fall blooms and pinch in early summer to increase blooms and branching. Possibly the most similar to common daisies, the Shasta Daisy is a perennial that grows in clusters several feet tall and 1 to 2 feet wide with large, gorgeous blooms. A particularly popular cultivar, Rudbeckia, grows 3 to 4 feet tall with large, 3 to 4 inch flowers that bloom from July through September. It makes an excellent cut flower. Shasta daisies are somewhat short-lived perennials, be prepared to replant them every 3 or 4 years. These tall plants, 3 to 6 feet tall, also known as oxeye sunflowers, covered with full yellow-orange flowers, do very well in warm southern climates and are a good choice for poor soils. They tolerate drought conditions, though they bloom better when given regular moisture. In shady conditions, the flower stalks will need to be staked to provide support. Closely related to true sunflowers, which are annual plants, H. helianthoides is a perennial species with smaller, more profuse flowers. It blooms from June to August. Deadheading helps prolong blooms. Excellent as a companion plant, Calendula is edible, medicinal, and helps with natural pest control by drawing beneficial insects that feed on pest insects. This is a different plant than garden marigolds, which belong to Tagetes, another genus within the Asteraceae family. Pot marigold sports colorful, full flower heads with a daisy-like shape and full, almost bushy petals. Plants grow 1 to 2 feet tall. For an extra long blooming time, be sure to deadhead them after spring flowering. This is a short-lived perennial in warmer zones, but it readily self-seeds in all zones unless flowers are deadheaded after blooming. Many different cultivars are available, offering a variety of bloom colors and shapes. The Aster genus contains 180 species, but those most often used in landscaping are cultivars of hybrid crosses. One very popular variety is Aster Celeste, which forms a clump covered with dense purple daisy-like flowers in late summer and early fall. This variety grows to about 30 inches tall, but others can be as tall as 8 feet or as short as 8 inches. All asters are late bloomers, offering good color in late summer through fall when most other perennials are no longer blooming. Taller asters should be pinched back in midsummer to keep the plants bushy and full. Asters prefer climates with cool, moist summers. In hot climates, plant asters where they can get afternoon shade. Most of the plants marketed as African daisies or Osteospermum are cultivars of hybrids based on O. eclonis, O. jucundum, and other species. Growing 1 to 3 feet tall, these plants have daisy-like flowers with stunning metallic centers, blooming in early to mid-summer. These plants need fertilizer, sufficient water, and acidic soil. Although perennial in warm climates, African daisies are grown as annuals in most climate zones. These plants bloom during spring and fall, taking a break in hot summers. Treat them like other cool season flowers, like pansies. Deadhead to encourage continuous blooms. A low-maintenance perennial wildflower, Echinacea purpurea sports purple daisy-like flowers. Not only is it beautiful, but it can be grown for medicinal properties and is excellent in tea. The species version has flowers with petals that droop downward, but many cultivars are available that offer better bloom performance and a variety of colors. Some popular cultivars include Kim's Knee High, Bravado, Pow Wow White, Tangerine Dream, Gumdrop, and Sunbird. Plants should be divided every 3 or 4 years. The Coreopsis genus includes more than 75 perennial plants with daisy-like flowers, several of which are important parent species used to create popular garden varieties. Also known as tickseed, the Coreopsis cultivars most commonly used in gardens are generally derived from C. lanceolata, lance-leaved Coreopsis, or C. verticillata, fern-leaf or thread-leaf Coreopsis. Both have daisy-like flowers, but the foliage texture varies, with lanceolata varieties sporting elongated leaves, while verticillata varieties have very fine, lacy foliage. Plants are generally 1 to 2 feet in height. They can be sheared back after blooming to stimulate late-season reblooms. These flowers attract lots of bees and butterflies every season. Deadheading encourages repeat blooms. Rudbeckia is a genus containing a large number of flowering perennial species, some of which are known as coneflowers. Those commonly called black-eyed Susans or brown-eyed Susans are generally R. hirta, or cultivars derived from that species. These plants have yellow flowers with dark center discs, growing 2 to 3 feet in height and blooming throughout the summer and early fall. Plant them in large groups for a mass of blooms. R. hirta is a short-lived perennial or biennial, but itself seeds freely in the garden and readily forms a colony that returns year after year. Little to no maintenance is required. Thanks to its thick covering of blooms, Gaillardia is also known as blanket flower. While the Gaillardia genus includes many native annual and perennial North American species, those sold for garden use are generally cultivars of a particular hybrid, now known as GX Grandiflora. Gaillardia is very easy to grow plant when placed in an ideal location. Although it is a short-lived perennial, Gaillardia self-seeds easily and readily colonizes in the garden and in naturalized areas. Thanks for watching. Subscribe for more interesting videos. And please hit the like button for the YouTube algorithm.